This video is brought to you by Zarrakan Productions, an umbrella group composed of multiple shows and an archive of over 5,000 videos covering a wide variety of topics. Please go to zarrakan.com for a complete listing of video links, social media feeds, and opportunities to support our content. Thank you for your time, and may I present another Zarrakan production.
Welcome to Virtual World Traveler. I am Zarrakan, and this is a video I made about Little Shop of Nightmares by MadPea at Second Life. Mr. Eldritch's Little Shop of Nightmares is notorious for its collection of curiosities and oddities. The collector himself, Mr. Eldritch, was a peculiar old man with a passion for mysterious artifacts. He was hungry for cursed items with a dark past, and he enjoyed the ominous aura around them. Unfortunately, Mr. Eldritch recently passed away under stranger circumstances. His little shop of nightmares and all of his collected items are now left up for auction. Each item comes with a little story, describing the circumstances under which Mr. Eldritch or the respective donor procured the item. Some even describe the, let's say, peculiar features of the items. Perhaps, if you are lucky to get a hold of certain items, you'll soon be discovering an underlying mystery. Please join me as I explore Little Shop of Nightmares. The Little Shop of Nightmares is a special place for special artifacts that are especially troublesome for those who possess them. But that's exactly what we're looking for in a MadPea experience. What deadly delights await us inside? Let's find out. To the new owner of my shop, the Little Shop of Nightmares is more than a shop. There is more to it than meets the eye. If you are interested and not afraid, take a closer look. I have lived in this shop most of my adulthood, and I have seen such unimaginable things happening here. Some of the stories should never be told. Don't worry when I go. I know it has happened in peace. I saw my destiny in the crystal ball, and trust me, where I'll be is the most beautiful place you have ever seen. This little shop is empty without magical and mystical items. Fill it with those, and open your eyes to the wonders of our world, and the fifth realm. Maybe we shall meet again. Be well, Eldritch. Let's go inside. Here are the artifacts that come in the gotcha set, along with the rare of the shop itself. Nice little building. Got plenty of room in here to make it a home. Even have a little back porch area. A little shed you can put some stuff in. And with or without the artifacts, there's plenty of space in this room too. This is Mr. Pickles. He's a wiggly electric eel looking thing. Kinda cute. Let's touch him. You foolishly touch the tank with the electric eel and get zapped. Dear sir, my mama tells me I need to give you my Mr. Pickles. He's my pet and I love him so. Please take good care of him and feed him well. He likes to pop corn a lot. Mama says Mr. Pickles ate my uncle when I was asleep. I don't think eels eat people, sir, do they? Mama says eels don't eat good people. How do eels know who is good and who is bad? Mr. Pickles never wanted to eat me, even though I put rat poison in Santa's cookies. Don't tell anyone. He was mean and didn't bring me the dolly I asked for. He is resting in our backyard now with my dog Sam, who got hit by a car. I have to go. Thank you, sir, for taking Mr. Pickles and looking after him. I think he will be happy. Lucy. A rune is on the back of this letter. We have a handy light over here. Gotta hand it to you. This is a pretty cool thing to have on your wall. Always a helping hand to bring you light when you need it. Dear Sir, having a keen interest in curios and oddities myself, I know this light is perfect for your collection. I found it in a small back street market whilst traveling in France, and even though the price being asked was prohibitive, I felt compelled to buy it. On returning home, I left it safely packed in a box, as I had little time to find the right place to put it. After a few weeks, I started to hear scratching and shuffling noises from the cupboard I was storing it in. Thinking it was mice, I went to set a trap for them, but found that the box had moved. At least, I imagined it had. Boxes don't move on their own, after all, do they? The light looked perfect in my study, casting a warm glow that was perfect to read by, and I started to spend more and more time in there. When I started to see flickering and movement out of the corner of my eye, I just put it down to being overtired from too much reading. It was the middle of winter when I started to notice the shadows on the study walls, like grotesque and contorted bodies, hands reaching out of the walls as if trying to grab me and drag me to some unimaginable hell. Today I had an electrician remove the light. I am sure you will find the right home for it. Yours sincerely, George Smith. A number is on the back of this letter. Who's next? Possibly this owl statue. Who does this represent? Are they wise? Can they see at night? They got a butt. I know that. Owl butt. Looks pretty cool. Dear Sir, we are pleased to inform you that you had the highest blind bid on the guardian owl statue. However, we are unable to fulfill your request to track the origin of the statue. The latest owner, Mr. Michael Simmons, is in a closed psychiatric ward in the Peatonville Hospital. The nurses would not allow us to talk to him, claiming visitors would likely worsen his condition. It appears Mr. Simmons lives in a fantasy world of his own mind. He's speaking non-stop about his adventures in the fifth realm together with his sidekick, the owl statue itself. His stories are so detailed that he made the other patients believe in this place as well. He was straight away sent to isolation. What we have discovered so far is that the owl is a lot older than it seems, even dating back to the 16th century. The name we have found for you is Magnus White. He lives in Salem and runs a similar business to yours. We'd recommend contacting him for more information. On behalf of the Peaton Auction House, Camilla Anderson. A rune is on the back of this letter. Don't lose your head by getting ahead with this shrunken head. Two heads are better than one, so you can add this to yours. Robert Charles Stanford, 1851 to 1878. Dear Mr. Eldritch, I hope you will accept this shrunken head for your little shop of nightmares. Lord knows I don't want it. In life the head belonged to Robert Charles Stanford III, my odious ex-stepson. He was the only child of my dear departed wife Muriel. She was a good woman, but she totally spoiled him, and this led to the sorry state he is in now. Young Robert was looking for an easy life when he signed up for missionary work on the edge of the Amazon basin. Robert spent the journey shooting as many animals as he could find, getting drunk, and abusing the native guides. So instead of taking him to his new parish, they delivered him to a tribe of headhunters. Father John, a local Jesuit priest, sent back his head. His poor mother died of a broken heart. Robert was horrible when he was alive, and now his head only serves to remind me of my darling Muriel. Please take it with my blessing. J.D. Poyser. A rune is on the back of this letter. I remember this key box from the MadPea game Lost Treasure of the Inca Warrior that I covered back in 2016. Mr. Eldritch, I've always been a bit of an explorer. Sitting in one place is my personal hell, you see. So as usual, I gave my desk globe a hearty spin. It would decide my next conquest. When it stopped, my finger rested on Peru. I'd always wanted to see the fortress of Gunlap, so why not? Traveling through El Tingo, I finally reached the site. Hallelujah! Only briefly did I stop to admire the obvious ingenuity and foresight of its builders when, out of nowhere, a woman who seemed to be as silent and ancient as Gulep approached. She said nothing, but handed over this odd thing. I spotted a mechanism by which to open it, but, by golly, by the time I went to ask her, she was gone, as if I dreamed her up. I have tried everything. I have even beaten it against a table, hit it with a hammer, stared it down in an attempt to will it to open. I've even been through I have tried everything. I have even beaten it against a table, hit it with a hammer, stared it down in an attempt to will it open. I've been through up and back and still can't open this damn thing. What's in it? Why does it rumble so? Perhaps it's destined for another's hands. Did a local somehow know that? Through me, it would reach those hands? In any case, I give. It's yours. I hope the noise won't keep you up. Brian Crow. A rune is on the back of this letter. Will the future be crystal clear in this crystal ball? Let's poke it and find out. Today could be a good day for making plans, whether it is at work or at home. Stay away from chickens, they disguise well. That promotion at work will never be yours. This could be a good day to rest and recuperate from the draining effect of previous energy bursts. Again, stay away from chickens, they disguise well. Highly dangerous. Be very careful crossing any roads today, unless you want to play real-life Frogger. You may be worrying unnecessarily today, and this crystal ball may be helping with that. No matter how hard you try, you will not be able to shake off that feeling of doom. Well, I am in a MadPea game. You may be worrying unnecessarily today, probably because of the present circumstance. Dear buyer, what a time I had with this one. I'd been out for a short stroll when I saw her glowing madly among other supposed trash on the curb. The couple to which it formerly belonged was frantically packing and moving about. I could be wrong, but it seemed the young woman ventured to say something to me as I collected the ball, before being hushed by her guy. Oh well. I'd use Lolly for everything. What's in the future for this little shop of horrors? Will Mr. Pickles the eel either confirm or disprove the myths surrounding its culinary preferences? Will there be a parking space when I arrive? Sometimes I don her negative Nina. She could be downright mean. I wonder if the young lady... but it doesn't matter. I'm an old man now. What more could this have to say for me? Anyway, I get the feeling that my days are numbered. I find that, in general, well-received people don't arrive only to find shrunken heads on the steps to their businesses. It seems I already know what lies in my future. Eldritch. A rune is on the back of this letter. If you want to slay the supernatural, you can't go wrong with the Slayer kit. All kinds of things that supernatural beings are susceptible to. Dear Sir, yesterday we confiscated this box from one of our patients, Maxine Wheeler. This is so prohibited, you could find a picture of it in the dictionary's entry for contraband. Anything like this is strictly prohibited here at the MadPea's Institution for the Certifiable. We know how much you enjoy such oddities, so we hope you'll be willing to take it. Up until yesterday, she'd carry it everywhere. She'd repeat some of its contents over and over, as if she wanted some unseen person or entity to know she was ready. Arsenic, sulfur, silver, she'd scream, over and over. Poor fellow Certifiable and BFF Dean the Obscene Scarborough. He'd have to hear her wild stories all day and all night. Not me, Vakahulika, not now, not ever. I can't be sure, but it sounded like she was referring to the Inca myth of the sacred cow, who, way back when, was defeated by a magician from Pocahontas. A fire-breathing cow risen from the dead, stalking the premises of the institution. What a nut. Anyway, enjoy. Louise Carter. A number is on the back of this letter. Looking for something to read? Why not become Harry Potter by reading the Book of Enchantments? Throw fireballs. Turn yourself into a dragon. Amaze your friends and family with your magical prowess. Dear Mr. Eldritch, please take this book for your little shop of nightmares before it drives me out of my mind. I first found it in a funny little junk shop and bought it because it looked interesting. But when I got it home, I felt the strangest dread. I couldn't bring myself to open the book. 3 nights later, the whispering started. Nothing clear, you understand, just the softest, darkest tickles of noise in the middle of the night. Soon I could hear it during the day, in those quiet moments. Now I can't sleep or eat or get a moment's peace. I know it's the book. It told me. It laughs at me. It thinks I'm weak. Take it. Sell it to someone else. Anything to stop those voices in my head, the voices that say, "Read me." Jack. A rune is on the back of this letter. Do you have trouble keeping plants alive? Well, trouble no more with this flesh eater. Yes, you too can keep a plant alive in your home by feeding it whatever meat you have lying around. I think I'll call mine Audrey too. Dear Mr. Eldritch, one day a strange couple was knocking door to door in my neighborhood selling plants. As a keen gardener, I was interested in what they had to offer. As I was looking through the plants on offer, the woman looked me in the eyes and said, "I think I have the perfect thing for you, my dear," and pulled out a tiny pot containing the smallest carnivorous plant I have ever seen. I have been fascinated by carnivorous plants since I was a child and discovered the ones that grow in the peat bogs in Ireland. I have bought many over the years, but never succeeded in getting them to grow. But this little thing was so lovely I couldn't resist. It lived in my kitchen on the windowsill, keeping my kitchen fly-free and growing rapidly. So rapidly I had to repot it regularly. After a while, I felt I had to move it outside, as no way was it getting enough to eat in the house. It was so happy outside, growing even faster. It even seemed to develop a little personality. I really loved that plant, but then the next-door neighbor's yappy little dog got into my garden and was never seen again. The collar next to the plant pot told me what had happened. The plant was growing so fast, I didn't dare think what it would eat next. Please look after it well. Kind regards, Subahan Deherty. A rune is on the back of this letter. We've all heard of dream catchers, but what about catching nightmares? Now you can, with the Nightmare Catcher. Dear Mr. Eldritch, I received your note requesting background information for the dream catcher you purchased from us. I apologize, but unfortunately the original purchase receipt was burnt in a fire. In fact, everything was burnt in that fire, including my wife, except for the dream catcher. My wife Carolyn purchased the dream catcher from a Native American market on our 20th anniversary trip to New Orleans. I always wondered about the origin because it was missing certain features, and I still hear in my head the warnings of a homeless person yelling at us to not buy anything from that lady. "Cursed," he said. Soon after our return, Carolyn, bless her soul, started having vivid nightmares. The dream catcher was supposed to catch these, but I believe it was channeling them directly to her. She became unaware of her surroundings, mixing day and night together, and her nightmares became a reality. As I returned home from my night shift, seeing our house in flames, our neighbors claimed they saw Carolyn torching the place, screaming, "You will not get me!" Since that horrible thing didn't burn, I wasn't sure what to do with it, apart from selling it to a notorious collector such as yourself. James Edwards. A rune is on the back of this letter. Do you like pots? Well, have we got a deal for you. We have 3 pots to choose from. Different sizes, different shapes, all kinds of pots. Use them as a vase, stick a plant in them. Drill a hole, use it like a bong. Store change in them, drink from them, do whatever you want. Pots are multi-purpose. To Mr. Eldritch, as per our arrangement, I traveled to Cachin, Peru, and made contact with our source. He sold me these 3 ancient pots and told me a terrible tale. In the 17th century, 3 Spanish witches took refuge in Canache and made each pot from the clay of a spring said to amplify magic. The first poured her hate for those who persecuted them into her pot, filling it to the brim with curses and fury. The second filled hers with the wish to heal the hate in the witch hunters' hearts, allowing every positive thought and helpful hex to fill it. The last cried for her murdered sisters, while making her pot and her tears imbued it with an emptiness that nothing could fill. The only problem is, I'm not sure which is which. I'm sure they will look great on anyone's mantle, just as long as the buyer doesn't break them. They are all 110% safe, I think. Kind regards, Captain Waters. A number is on the back of this letter. And let's not forget the very stylish curio cabinet to store all your knickknacks in. But wait, what's this? Huh, these weird symbols. They have been all over the letters and now here too. I think I saw these in the Little Shop of Nightmares. I wonder what they mean. Dear Sir, this cabinet belongs to my son, but I just had to get it out of the house. It could have cost him his job in the antique shop. All items that people bring in to sell have to be recorded in the book for the shop owner to decide a price, but for some reason, he decided to strike a deal with the seller and buy it for himself. It is a nice-looking thing, but way too big for his room, and he would insist on squeezing it in there. That is fair enough, but then he started throwing out all his other furniture, including the bed. The cabinet needs space, Dad. We started to see less and less of him until he only emerged from his room to go to work, saying he needed to earn money to find a bigger place to keep the cabinet. His mother and I were becoming increasingly worried by his gaunt appearance. One night I heard voices as I walked past his room. I peered through the keyhole to see him sitting on the floor staring at the cabinet. An eerie voice emanated from it. "Kill them both, and I will have all the space in this house. Only then you can join the others inside me." As soon as he left for work today, I had the cabinet shipped to your shop. I trust you will know what to do with it. My son will hate me, but the alternative is unthinkable. I shudder to think what evil is lurking inside it. Stephen Watson. To translate the runes, you will have to find them throughout the Little Shop of Nightmares. Number 1 is here. Luckily, I have that ancient translator with me. It tells me that this strange symbol is H. 2 can be found outside on one of the walls. This one is an A. Number 3 is back inside. This one is an R. Number 4 is over on this wall. And is an M. Number 5 is above the arch to the main room. And is an S. Number 6 is outside above the main door frame. And is a W. Number 7 is the same as number 2, which again is on the outside wall of Little Shop of Nightmares. So that gives us another A. Number 8 is also outside. It can be found on this wall. And that gives us a Y. Putting these letters in order, it spells out harm's way. I know from previous experience that the numbers we got from letters 9, 10, and 11 are coordinates. that put in order are 166, 88, and 1232. While you're searching for the runes, you will find one last clue to this story outside. This looks like the language from Fifth Realm. I'm not sure what it says, but I know who does. Maybe those stories were not just stories. I think I know who took Mr. Eldritch now. Something from his own collection. By typing in the sim name Harm's Way on the world map and the coordinates, I reach this destination. Will we find Mr. Eldritch? Possibly. It looks like we have one last riddle to solve. Who took Mr. Eldritch away? Based on the stories I've read, I believe it's the guardian owl. Well done, you solved a mystery. Here's your prize. The prize you get for solving the mystery is a can full of little Audreys. Aren't they adorable? Just the thing you need for your garden. Oh. The prize you get for solving the mystery is a water can full of tiny little Audreys. Aren't they adorable? Just the thing you need to take care of pests in your garden, along with anything else they can get their mouths on. Well, this has been MadPea's Little Shop of Nightmares. I had fun, and I hope you did too. And I'll see you in the next video.